So you're about to take the craziest tennis lesson of your life. I want to introduce you to Bert, our new AI-powered tennis coach. And to take a lesson, all you have to do is click Launch Bert, then you click Record, and you walk up to the baseline and hit a serve. Once you hit your serve, hit this little green button here that says Upload, and then Bert will take it from there. Bert's going to tell you what mistakes you're making and how to fix them. Okay, so let's check out my results. And here's a list of all the serves I've hit in the last couple days, and you can hit as many as you want, more on that in just a second. But this one right here is the serve I just hit. And this is computer vision. This is what Bert sees when he's looking at my serve. And then if I click on View Your Mistakes, you can see excessive knee bend, early knee bend. And what that does, what happens to me sometimes is I kind of get stuck at the bottom of my loading phase, and sometimes I actually lose explosive power. So my serve is pretty good. I played on Davidson College's team, that's D1, but rode the bench. But let's demo a mistake I see all the time at the 3-5-4-0 level. It is called foot around, and it looks like this. So you get into your stance, but then you step up like this. Your back foot comes around in front of your front foot, and when that happens, you can basically only slice the ball. You can see my stability is bad. So you're off balance, super inconsistent, and you can basically only slice the ball. You can't get any kick. So I'm gonna demo this serve, and then let's see if Bert can catch it. Okay, so my results have come in, and we will, they're right there, it's that one. And so there is Bert looking at me doing foot around, and then let me click on View Mistakes and see if Bert got it. Yep, it did, right at the top. See, number one is foot around, toss release too high, early knee bend, lack of hip turn, early racket drop. So if I wanted to fix foot around, I'm just gonna click on it. And what's gonna happen is you get a video now where Dr. Kovac, we'll talk about him in a second, he's gonna fix that particular mistake. He's gonna show you a drill that will fix the foot around mistake. Okay, so I've been working on foot around. I've been doing the drill Dr. Kovac gave me at my own pace. So now I'm gonna hit a serve, and we're gonna see what Bert has to say about the foot around mistake. So every tennis player knows that rain delays are part of the game. So right after I hit that serve, skies opened up. But luckily the clubhouse is a Hyundai Santa Fe? Great clubhouse. But we uploaded that serve to Bert, so let's check it out. It's this serve right here. And so there's the serve I just hit. And then if I hit View Mistakes, now you'll notice that foot around is no longer on the list of problems that Bert is seeing. Right, so I have knocked that problem out of my game now, but I obviously have some other problems that I now need to deal with. So on the first video, the foot around video, I also had lack of hip turn, and you can see that is still a problem. So this might be the next one that I'm going to tackle. And so you click that, the video loads up, and then Dr. Kovac, he's got a drill for how to fix this particular problem, the lack of hip turn problem. So that is how Bert works, rain or shine. You just film serve after serve, and you knock out mistake after mistake. Once you eliminate a mistake, like foot around, you move on to lack of hip turn. Once you get rid of hip turn, you move on to something else, early racket drop, whatever. And you can film as many serves as you want and just keep knocking out all these mistakes. We'll get to exactly how that all works in a second. But because we've got a rain delay, why don't we go back to the studio, talk a little bit more about what's going on with Bert under the hood, because he has something called computer vision, which is a branch of AI that allows a computer to see and understand what it's looking at in a video. And right now it's looking at some random tennis player named Novak.
Those dots you see on his body, those are his joints, and Bert can identify and calculate the angles and distances between them. That red box, that is tracking the racket, and Bert knows the racket's orientation and can calculate your racket head speed. And then the green box is Bert tracking the tennis ball. Bert is keeping tabs on all of this stuff hundreds of times a second, which allows Bert to see and measure things the human eye can't. The stuff that is literally happening in the blink of an eye, like contact, which means Bert is able to identify the invisible mistakes you're making that no one has ever told you about before. For example, if you feel like you are arming your serve, then you might be suffering from a mistake called lack of vertical hip displacement. And that is the scientific term for the distance and the speed your back hip fires upwards when you swing. And the back hip is not something you typically think of when you swing. But take a look at Teresa versus Roger Federer. And Teresa, thanks again for letting us use your video. But when you eyeball it, you can obviously see there's a difference between the distance and speed the back hips are moving. But what you don't see is this. This is what Bert sees and measures. And you can see in this chart how Roger's back hip dips down and explodes upwards. And if you were wondering, it travels a distance of 49.6 centimeters. But Teresa's chart here, you can see it is much flatter. She has a lack of vertical hip displacement. And when she fixes it, or when you fix it, you'll add 5 to 10 miles an hour to your serve, maybe more, and you'll get rid of that annoying feeling that you are arming your serve. Now, what if you are not pronating properly? Well, Bert can measure what happens in that tiny window just before, during, and after contact. And what Bert is looking for is a scientific term called long axis rotation, which is internal shoulder rotation plus pronation. You need both. And what Bert wants to see is your strings right before contact pointed this way, then at contact is pointed at the target, and then after contact, they're pointed this way. Here's Iga doing it correctly, but then let's look at Dan doing it incorrectly. His strings are pointed straight down after he hits, and Dan, thanks again for being our guinea pig here. Now, computer vision by itself is not enough to fix your serve because it can see the mistake, but it can't tell you what's causing it. So, for example, let's say you suffer from over rotation. This is a really common mistake at the amateur level, and it just means that at contact, you are facing the net when you should be facing more towards the side fence. Now, why are you making that mistake? Well, it could be foot around, it could be early racket drop, you could be chasing a bad toss, whatever. So Bert needs more than just computer vision. Bert also needs a brain. And the brains of the operation is Dr. Mark Kovacs, arguably the world's leading expert when it comes to tennis biomechanics, how your body should be moving when you hit a forehand, a backhand, or a serve. In 2002, Mark won the NCAA Division I doubles championship, turned pro, and promptly blew out his shoulder. So that was the end of his playing career, but the beginning of his scientific one, because Mark got his PhD in physiology, and that's when Mark became Dr. Kovacs. He's had some cool jobs, like he was the director of the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, but more importantly for your game, in 2011, he published the world's leading study on the serve. It's called an 8-stage model for evaluating the tennis serve. It's been peer-reviewed twice, and it won him the International Tennis Hall of Fame's Educational Merit Award. It's great bedtime reading. So when you film your serve, Bert is going to watch your serve and compare it to Dr. Kovacs' 8-stage perfect model. And if you're making a mistake, then Bert will flag it, figure out what's causing that mistake, and then you'll get a video where Dr. Kovac shows you how to fix that mistake. You're also going to get an overall score that shows you how close you are to Dr. Kovacs' perfect model. And you're going to get all sorts of really cool analytics like the angles and speeds of your body part that show you how you stack up against the pros and how you stack up against your peers. The one I really like is it calculates your racket head speed. What's so amazing about AI is the analysis that Bert does in that 1 minute, it used to take 2 days. Because Dr. Kovacs is based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and players from all around the world at all levels of the game, whether it's pros down to amateurs, they would fly down to Atlanta to work with Dr. Kovacs. And a few years ago, I put together a group of tennis players to go down to Dr. Kovacs' lab in Atlanta and work with him over 2 days. Dr. Kovacs put them through a battery of tests to see how close they were to the perfect model, and any mistakes they were making, Dr. Kovacs would then correct them. That event cost $5,000. And what's crazy is with Bert's computer vision, first, we can do that entire 2 days worth of analysis on your phone. And second, instead of spending $5,000 to go to Atlanta, you can do it for just one payment here on this page for $67. If you're doing the math, that is a 99.987% discount. So for $67, you are getting 1 month of unlimited access to Bert. And what that means is you can upload as many serves as you want and get Bert's feedback on what you should do next to improve. After that month is up, Bert is going to hang on to everything, your serves, your feedback, all that stuff, so that you can always go back and check it out. All you got to do is pull out your phone and open up the Bert app. And if you want Bert to take a look at some more of your serves, well, all you have to do is sign up for another month. This is not a subscription. This is like, it's kind of like taking a lesson with your coach, right? You just sign up for a lesson whenever you want. That's exactly how Bert works. So look, I think Bert is awesome because what other coach in the world is on demand 24/7, will show up at any court in the world wherever you are and give you a lesson on your schedule and give you a lesson for an entire month for just $67. I'm not going to do that, but Bert will. So if that sounds good to you, just scroll down this page, click that button to sign up, and you can be using Bert just a few short minutes from right now. So when you take a lesson with Bert, you are also getting 2 awesome bonuses, and the first is the new rules of singles. So Bert is using big data to fix your technique, but can we use big data to fix your strategy? Well, the answer is yes. That is what the new rules of singles is all about, because inside there are 20 new rules, new strategies that use big data to show you what the strategies are with the highest winning percentage. So all you got to do is cut out the old losing strategies, the stuff we were sort of taught when we were learning how to play tennis. Cut those out, replace them with the strategies that are backed by the analytics. So when you get inside the new rules of singles, you can see here are all at the top, there's the old rule. At the bottom, there's the new rule, and you can just swipe through all of these. And then if I click the play button down here, a video will pop up. This is Craig O'Shaughnessy. So Craig is basically the guy who is leading the analytics revolution in tennis. He used to actually coach Novak Djokovic on the analytics, getting him to use all these new rules in his game. And now we're bringing it to your game. So every one of these, if you swipe through, you click on the play button down here, a video with Craig is going to pop up showing you what the old rule is and then how to replace it with the new rule. Now, a lot of these rules are like really counterintuitive. My favorite one right here is the new rule for approaching the net, because up here, the old rule is to hit a backhand approach shot down the line, but that exposes you to a forehand dipping cross court. So the new rule is actually to run around that backhand and then approach cross court, hit a forehand approach cross court. Seems counterintuitive because now you're leaving the down the line passing shot. The winning percentage is actually way higher, and Craig will walk you through all of that inside the new rules of singles. So if you like the data, if you like big data, if you like analytics, you're going to love the new rules of singles. So in the past, we've sold the new rules of singles for like $199, something like that. But I just want to give it to you for free. It is yours to keep when you take a lesson with Bert. So I know not everybody watching this is a singles player. I know some of you are exclusively doubles players, and that's why we've got you covered with this next bonus. It is the new rules of doubles. So it works the exact same way as the new rules of singles. We've got 21 new rules, new strategies backed up by the analytics, by all the number crunching Craig has done. And he's going to show you how to replace these old rules with the new rules. So you got them all here. You can swipe through, and the first one here is actually my favorite. It's the new rule for faking. This one's really, really counterintuitive. But if you hit that play button here, Craig is going to walk you through it. Basically, you don't want to fake to the middle and cover the alley. You want to do the opposite based on what the data is telling you. So this thing is awesome. And in the past, we've also sold this thing for like $199, but I just want to hook you up with it. I want to give it to you for free, yours to keep when you take a lesson with Bert. So that's what's up. When you take a lesson with Bert, you've got Dr. Kovac's entire lab on your phone. You've got his entire brain on your phone. You don't have to pay $5,000 to go down to Atlanta and spend 2 days doing all of these analyses and whatnot. You've got the new rules of singles, a $200 value, and the new rules of doubles, a $200 value as well. So that's like $5,400 worth of stuff that you can get a hold of for just one payment here on this page today for $67. And just like all of our stuff, you are protected by our 365-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. So you can run with this lesson from Bert for an entire year. I mean, what other tennis coach is like, hey, after the lesson, I'll just give you a refund if it wasn't your cup of tea? So that's another way that Bert is is super awesome. You're doing this no risk for the next year. So all you got to do is scroll down this page and click that button, and literally Bert will be on your phone in the next couple minutes. As soon as you complete your order, you'll be able to download Bert to your phone and head out to the court. And I think Bert's going to transform your serve. I mean, we all see how AI is transforming everything, and I don't see why your tennis game is any different. That's why we did this. So I'm very, very excited to share this with you. I know Dr. Kovac is as well. I know Bert is excited to help you serve faster, more consistently with more spin and accuracy, all that good stuff, fewer double faults, whatever. So I'm going to stop talking. Just scroll down this page, click that button, and take your first lesson with Bert.